Hi, I'm Lyndell Werling. I'm your host for The Finest Women in Real Estate, the show where we bring you amazing women who are in the real estate professional, and at the end of the day, it is who you are. I'd like to welcome you, Jacquie Willhoite, to our show. Jacquie is a real estate agent and an engineer with some amazing accomplishments we'll talk about. We also have Rebecca Ciastko. She is a real estate agent as well as an architect, which is very impressive to me, and I want to hear more about it. And we also have Kelly Lenahan. Kelly is not only an accountant, but she is also a model, which if you couldn't tell, you do now know. So what we'll talk about in our segment today is the connection between mind, body, soul, and appearance. What I'd like to do is just get all of your input on what it means to look professional, what it means when you feel great about yourself, and how that leads to success. Jacquie, can you talk to us for just a moment about when you go out the door to have a successful day, what it means to put on a professional outfit or the outfit that you feel empowered in?
Yeah, so I feel like if I feel good and I feel like I look good, my day just goes that much better.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like if I'm not going to put on workout clothes to go meet a client.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like you exude confidence and
absolutely,
and it all depends on what you're wearing.
I agree with that.
How you feel.
I agree with that. How about you, Rebecca? I know that we talked and you have a very specific type of branding that you do, and I think that's important for women in business to really know who you are, to go out and face the day and meet clients and get success based on who you are and carrying that through in what you wear.
Yeah, it's for me, it's I spend a lot of time on construction job sites and in a real estate office and in clients' homes. So I transition between those, and sometimes it's not as seamless as I would like.
A big contrast.
Yeah, it's a huge contrast. So there's like always a pair of heels in the back of my car or my work boots in the back of my car. And so, yeah, my style has to adapt very quickly, but I also still have to be completely presentable to be able to sell. I mean, sales, it is all about, as you said, confidence and projecting that. So, yeah, it's important.
Absolutely. I love what you've shared. Kelly, I think you have an interesting case study too, because I've felt like for many women in the business world, especially in these areas where there's maybe a lot of men, and finance is kind of one of those areas, that there's a need to really present the professionalism, especially when you're a beautiful woman. Can you share with us how your attire will carry through your credibility and get you the success in finance?
In finance, I think it's important to dress conservative.
Absolutely.
I think that just getting up and being presentable, I usually wear my hair back, to be honest. I have it nice and neat and conservative. And I really feel like when I walk out the door and I'm dressed that way and dressed conservative, I feel very comfortable and confident when I'm sitting in a room full of, we have our executive meetings and I have to present the accounting and the financials to those clients, that it's important that I feel very confident and very comfortable.
Absolutely.
And I can deliver, all the numbers correctly and you look professional. Yeah, thank you. And I think it's important.
We make decisions very quickly. The human brain can look at a situation. It might be evolutionary from the hunter-gatherer days, but people are going to have to do that with us, and not just as women in real estate, but in general. So clothing sends important cues, and it leads to a perception that people will have of us even after the first impression about our qualifications. Do you feel that's important? Has that been something that you've had to spend time on when you go out the door and represent your brand?
I definitely think that's super important. Like as much as people say they don't judge a book by its cover, we're all judged by how we look at first.
I agree with you.
And then, you get to know each other's personalities and that will change. But I mean, if you're dressed like you're going to a nightclub, but you're actually going out to meet
doesn't fit the narrative.
Like an accountant professional, they're not going to take you seriously.
I agree.
They're going to trust you more. They're going to have more trust the way you represent yourself. They're going to automatically feel more trustworthy to you versus somebody else that might not be dressed professionally.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. Establishing rapport. Rebecca, we've got you doing architecture, going into people's homes where you really need to make sure that you're in sync with them. And then at the job sites, which I'm sure there's a lot of male energy and so forth there. How do you cope with that?
Architecture is still a male-dominated field. Real estate, I believe, still is a male-dominated field. It's getting closer now, which is awesome. But construction sites, it's most common that I am the only girl on a construction site, and very often I show up and I get funny looks, or they direct me, oh, you need to go to the office here, or they assume that I am someone's assistant very often still. So yeah, what I wear has a huge impact on whether it looks like I even belong there.
Right.
And it doesn't. And to mention even what you had said about branding as well too, it sort of identifies me, who I am, what my job is there, and take me a little bit seriously. I do know what I'm talking about.
Right, it's a big challenge, and it's really a challenge in business, or if you're in medicine or in any environment where you're providing services and products, to really carry through the message and the value proposition and kind of underline it. Like you said, when you're delivering numbers, if someone were to do that and they looked like they were maybe not all pulled together, you might want to know if they had the credibility to actually give you that. Would you trust the numbers?
Right, absolutely.
So let's talk about one tip quickly, each of us, that we can use to make sure that we have instilled in our clients and in our coworkers the confidence and the credibility to be the finest women in real estate.
You go first.
About it, right?
And maybe it's what you said, you're on brand and you've got your heels and you've got a way with each of these environments you're going to go into. You have a plan and a procedure.
Yeah, it is. It's knowing where I'm going to be and know why you're going to be there. Take a step back. It's okay to check yourself out in the mirror and say, okay, would I take myself seriously?
Exactly.
That's really.
I love that one.
Really it. Yeah.
Kelly, you have probably the widest diversity between doing avant-garde fashion modeling and numbers in a corporate environment. Do you have a tip for all of our viewers that are probably wanting to know how you get it done?
Well, it's definitely challenging, but it's fun. I mean, I think that depending on what you're going to do, that's why I love fashion and style so much, because you can almost be just a different, not person, but you can come out differently, and with each different customer or each different job or for each different project that you're doing. So for the fashion stuff, it just depends on what I'm going to do. Whether I'm going to do like a beautiful gown, I'll wear my hair up and the jewelry, or if I want to do
setting the image for the scenario.
if I want to do something just sweet, I'll maybe just put like a little necklace on and nothing too crazy. And then I love to, do the conservative look too.
Right.
Even as a model, I like to do that. I mean, most of the work, I would say probably 75% of the projects I've done, my hair is back behind my.
Love it.
It's pulled back. It's more about a clean, elegant look versus too much going on.
Wonderful.
So.
We will be right back. Stay with us for more Finest Women in Real Estate tips on beauty and health.
It appears these hot ashes are about to be dumped, which could possibly start a wildfire. How will Smokey deal with such a hot situation? The garden hose defense. Next, a thorough stir. Then another spray. And finally, feeling if the ashes are cool. Ah yes, the selfie. A ritual practiced so frequently with this tribe, but not so much by Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
I'm Lyndell Werling, your host for the Finest Women in Real Estate. We bring you tips and stories and anecdotes about how women who are successful in the industry do it best. We're going to talk in this segment about health and beauty, the connection between them, and how these women make it happen. I'll start with you, Jacquie. I feel like the connection between mind, body, and health is really not one that you can take parts out and replace with other things. The priorities that women have in trying to succeed corporately, stay healthy, look good, be a wonderful neighbor, mother, daughter, friend. How do you do it? What's one thing you can share with our audience about being successful, connecting your health, your mind, and your body?
So I think having a morning routine is essential. I think for me, I personally get up, I meditate for 10, 15 minutes. I usually make a list of things I need to do for the day, and then I go exercise, get some, even if it's
Clear
like
your
10
mind,
minutes.
right?
Yeah, just get
Have some time.
exercise. Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
And then, I feel like if you start your day right, then you have a much better day.
Right.
And you feel better about yourself.
Propel yourself right away
Yeah.
into a position to be empowered. Rebecca, what can you share with us?
I eat my feelings. And I don't mean that in the sense that like I eat emotionally. I actually, I'm very focused on eating what feels good. If I eat something and it feels good, okay, it's giving me good energy and good fuel. I'm busy. I'm in multiple different environments, running 2 businesses. I'm in a lot of places all day long. So sometimes eating isn't always our first priority, but pay attention to the things that do feel good when you eat them. Repeat those.
There's definitely a formula for what you input, output, right? If you're doing something that's maybe too much alcohol or too little caffeine or not enough water, it certainly isn't going to make you feel good. So I think that's incredibly important. Thank you for sharing that with us. Kelly, I'm curious. What do you think is a great way to start your day? What tips can you share with us?
I get up pretty early, and I definitely feel that if you take care of yourself, you could take care of everybody else throughout the day. And
That's a great
I got
point.
into the rut where I was just going straight to work and thinking I was going to work out at the gym at the end of the day, and sometimes it didn't happen. And then it just, you just feel that weight at the end of the day. So now, like you, I get up really early, and I do a really good workout. I do a lot of cardio, and then I go home and get myself all cleaned up, and I have a great day. And knowing I took care of myself first.
Yeah.
Diet is huge for me. So I'm in my 50s, and I'm still a working model, just doing runways, and I have to be a size 2.
Right.
So it's super important
It's a lot
for
of
me
pressure.
to eat food that's not going to cause inflammation. So it's the gluten-free, the dairy-free. I stopped caffeine, so I'm just really careful.
I wish I
So
could.
The combination of the two, just being very active and doing I'm an equestrian, so I have a horse, and I walk
love
my dogs
that.
around the lake. So I've got a lot of things throughout the day that I have
Yeah.
to be physically active for.
Yeah. What other things help you maintain a balance? We know real estate, you have deals, you have all kinds of hours that you have to keep that you can't control. What are things that help you keep balance in your life and make you feel good as well?
That's a good question. I think balance was the hardest thing for me when I went from an 8-to-5 job to owning my own businesses. It's like an ongoing struggle or process.
It is.
But I'll take a moment and meditate for a minute. I'll just try to do something that makes me feel good. Just take a break from whatever, go on a walk.
A state change, getting
Yeah.
out of the chaos for just maybe a moment.
Taking a deep breath, getting out of the chaos and then back to it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Rebecca.
I'm in the water as much as I can be. I love to swim. I like to be out on a boat. There's a quote that says the cure for everything is salt, whether it be sweat, tears, or the ocean, and it's 100% true. That if you're working really hard at your businesses and sweating, and you have that emotional drain, and you're gonna cry it out, just go to the ocean for a little bit. It kind of fixes things for me. That's my sort of peace, my balance point.
That's wonderful. I hadn't heard about the salt, but it really is one of the key elements in our planet. So I'm sure that that's one that we can all take and use for our advantage.
Yeah.
Yes. How do you maintain balance? You probably have some of the same things with deadlines that you aren't in control of, and
I
people
do.
rely on you, so you can't table it and come back later when it suits you and
do.
your schedule. It's just top down.
It's still a challenge. I'm still trying to learn it because I'm just feel like there's different things. And since as a consultant, you have what's most important to your clients, or say I have a designer that wants a fitting, you got to somehow juggle them and make it happen. So
Yes, and I've seen you in really great under pressure situations where you've done it incredibly well. So we can learn from you. That's for certain.
I'm still learning.
We can learn from one another, right? As women in business, this can be a challenge because we take more time to get prepared. our image can be more important than it is for a man. Do you feel that? And if so, how do you deal with it? How have you been successful at making sure that you're in balance and in health and in style?
That's a good question too. So I definitely think it's important for women to feel good and look good in the professional world. So we do have to take more time than men, generally.
And it's worth it. It's kind of
worth
fun.
it, yeah.
It's often stressful, but it is worth
Yeah, you're
it.
taking time for yourself.
Rebecca.
I think that time, as you said, like that, taking that time for yourself, don't treat it as a chore. Take that time, enjoy. If you're going to stop and put makeup on, which I don't do very often, and today, you know, getting done up even for the show, I was like, wow, this feels really good. Like, I should do this more often. You know, I'm off to construction sites or this or that. I don't take that time, but that time could be your reset. So don't take it as a chore. Enjoy that moment.
I love that tip.
Yeah.
I do. I do. Kelly, give us one from your perspective.
I'm kind of like where she is too, because when I work out, I'm so happy, and then I love makeup.
I do too.
So I enjoy that. I
it
love doing
easier.
different things, and I just think it's important. It's you taking care of yourself, and you feel good, and then you go have a great day.
Yes, indeed. So do you have one product that you love that you think is really important and everyone should use?
I do. So every morning I do a shot of apple cider vinegar.
I love it. Rebecca.
A product, I don't know, but I definitely have my staple. I have 3 walk-in closets in my house, and one of them is dedicated just to shoes. And that I don't
That's
get to.
wonderful.
That is awesome. So that's my sort of staple. Wherever I'm going, whatever I'm doing, I pick out my shoes first and build everything up from there.
Brilliant.
It's that confidence.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Kelly, one tip.
I think for me, for me, just the health part.
Yes.
I'm crazy about kombucha. Like that's
Oh.
me. I do that. I love kombucha in the morning or at night. I feel so good because it just kind of keeps things going and makes you feel good.
You got to
and-
find what works for you.
Yeah. I
When
should
we come-
invest in it.
Yes, yes. When we come back, we will have more tips for you from the finest women in real estate. It's all of us. It is who you are.
It appears these hot ashes are about to be dumped, which could possibly start a wildfire. How will Smokey deal with such a hot situation? The garden hose defense. Next, a thorough stir. Then another spray. And finally, feeling if the ashes are cool. Oh, yeah. Ah, yes, the selfie. A ritual practiced so frequently with this tribe, but not so much by Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back. I'm Lyndell Werling, your host for the finest women in real estate. This is my favorite segment of the series in which we talk about professional attire. We're going to start by talking about the beautiful outfit that Rebecca has on. What I love about it are a few things. It's a shirt dress, and nothing screams professionalism like having a collar, but it's still very attractive. It really suits your figure, and I love that you have a pop of color. Adding visual interest is always a wonderful thing, and she carried that through to her shoes. Having a closed-toed shoe can really change the look of an outfit, and when you're going to meet clients and you really don't want to overwhelm them with a bunch of details, a closed-toed shoe is a wonderful idea. And in some parts of the nation, we know that etiquette is taken a little bit more seriously, so a closed-toed shoe is something you definitely cannot go wrong with. I'm going to move on to Jacquie, and what I love about your dress is a little bit different than some of the other outfits because as women, we want to have an hourglass silhouette, and we can leverage fabric to do that. So both of us have this sweeping draped ruched fabric, which really does it. And not that you need to, but it's a great tool to have available on days where maybe you feel like, gosh, I wish I looked more slender, or I don't want to have a lot of my body shape really being accentuated. The color itself is beautiful as well. And we can really use color to have a corresponding, vibe with our personality or our brand. And there's certain colors that just look really nice. And purple is one of those jewel-toned, rich colors. I think it's somewhat conservative. And you have a high neck, which is also a great idea. Again, sometimes culturally, if we're meeting with clients that might be older or more conservative, it's important to think about what they might look at us and see. So thank you for pulling this together. It was a beautiful look, which I really love. And we're going to move on to Kelly. And I love something even more unique about what she's done. And it's really hard. And when we talk about balance and multiplying our schedule with social events, you have an outfit that can do that. Yours, because it's conservative and you have a beautiful patent shoe, can go from the cubicle to a cocktail hour. You could add some accessories. You've got black, which is a very slenderizing color. And I tell people if I could wear a darker color, I would, because I have vertical challenges, which she doesn't. And we love being able to elongate and slenderize and create an hourglass silhouette. So what you've done is a beautiful way to take a little black dress and make it appropriate for the office and then have some fun afterwards, because we never have enough hours in the day. And it's really hard to have an outfit that goes from multiple areas, but is still office appropriate. So each of these gals has done something that we can all embody in our closet. They've taken a dress, which is an outfit in and of itself, and made it appropriate for business, but it can also be good for times where you might want to go to dinner. You might have an event that isn't necessarily business, but still represents who you are in a very beautiful, elegant way. And each of these outfits is right for your body type and can make you look taller, slender, and more beautiful. So thank you, ladies, for sharing that with us. I'm Lyndell Werling, your host for The Finest Women in Real Estate. Come back to our next episode where we share additional tips on being one of the finest women in the real estate profession.